Hi, everyone. This is Zach Ledford from HR Technology and Consulting Company, Elgin LLC, and I'm joined by Ali, a data and integrations expert from Snaplogic.
Hi, everyone.
Great, thanks, Ali. All right, so we're gonna jump right into it and talk about recruiting. So in this video, we're going to show you two different use cases. The first is a positions integration. So opening a position, configuring it, getting it approved inside of your HRIS, in this case, Workday. And we're going to have that position and all the metadata push into an applicant tracking system via an integration, so totally automated, in this case into JobVite. And that'll be where the recruiters do all their activity to go ahead and get that position posted out on job boards or wherever else and actually start finding candidates and going through the talent acquisition process. When we're done with that, we'll go ahead and hop over to the second use case, which is a referral program. And so this is looking at employees referring candidates, those candidates becoming hired, doing some evaluations to make sure that that candidate, once they become hired, should qualify for a referral bonus payout to the referrer. And then we'll go ahead and if that's true, pay out the referrer with an automated payment to NetSuite. Go ahead and send an email notification to that referrer to let them know, hey, this has been posted, you've got this bonus coming, and to thank them for sending that referrer to begin with. And then we'll also post some data to Snowflake, to a database. We'll actually do that for both of the use cases, and we'll show you why you might want to have a holistic data model set up in something like Snowflake to allow you to look at all of your people analytics, shared services, and business operations data together in one place, and the type of use cases you might want to consider using that data model. And we've built out a couple of previews inside of Tableau to help illustrate that point. But let's go ahead and start on that first use case. So the positions integration. And Ali, it looks like we're in Workday and you're getting ready to go ahead and open up a requisition as if it was a brand new job or position we wanted to hire for.
That's correct. So I'm going to go ahead and create a job requisition so that I can then execute the Snaplogic pipeline and we can see the integration in action. So I'll go ahead and select a supervisory organization. Let's try Patrick O'Brien. Worker type, I'll leave that as employee. Okay. So I'll fill in the required information related to the job requisition. So select a target hire date. So let's put that sometime out in a couple weeks. Proceed through. Job posting title. We can say it's integration tester 5. All right. Job profile is recent. Integration engineer. This is the information auto-populated from the job profile. Scrolling down, selecting worker subtype, regular, time type full-time, primary location. We can select Atlanta.
So I'll go ahead and call out while you're kind of filling some of these pieces in.
Sure.
There's definitely like a lot of metadata that's available here, and there can be more, there can be less depending on your configuration setup. But I think that the good thing to call out here is that all of this stuff that you're just populating, if we wanted to, we could push it into JobVite, right, via an integration.
Correct. Exactly, and it's definitely up to you and your use case, your requirements. But yeah, all of these information can certainly also be pushed to JobVite. Yeah,
that's great. Otherwise, you're looking at doing some manual entry and kind of reinventing the wheel over and over and over again for every position that you're trying to manage.
Exactly. Absolutely. So the requisition has been created. Now I need to proxy in as a HR manager. So, and I will do that. And I would need to approve this job requisition so that it can ultimately be picked up by the integration.
So, yeah, that's great. So we're leveraging some of the strengths inside of Workday in terms of the organizational chain, the approval authority. So boom, that's it. So that's gone ahead and been approved. And so at this point, to your point, it should be available to get picked up and sent off to the applicant tracking system. But
That is correct. So, yep. So I'm going to be executing this here.
Cool. So now we're looking at Snaplogic. This is the overall integration automation pipeline. So can you talk through what's going on here?
Definitely. So we can actually see in real time as each snap is being executed. And once the execution has been completed successfully, you will see this green shade over each of the snaps. You can also see what's called the output view at the end of every snap that has an output view. And it will be populated with the metadata information. Basically what information has been extracted or outputted from that snap. So for example, with this Workday Get Jobs, just opening this up, you can see 2 job requisitions have been created, one just now, one earlier this morning. And once you expand the output view, clicking on this expand all button, you can see all of the metadata information that has been pulled from Workday. And what is being inputted into the subsequent snap. So basically output view of this Workday Get Job snap is being sent to this map rec ID mapper. And so what's then happening is the requisition ID is being referenced within JobVite. So we have these 2 requisition IDs that's being sent to JobVite, and it's going to check if it exists. If it does exist, an update occurs. If it does not, a creation occurs. So as you can see, there were 2 requisitions that were outputted from this Workday snap. One is already in JobVite. And I can actually open this up. We can see R00478 was already in JobVite. So that is going to be updated in JobVite. The other one, the one that we created just now, that was not in JobVite. And so R00479, that is going to be created, or that has been created just now within JobVite based on this integration. And lastly, after the update or creation has been done in JobVite, that information of the job requisition has been inserted into a Snowflake table. So this information here, basically metadata associated to the job requisition, as well as whether it was an update or a creation that's getting pushed to Snowflake. And we could actually reference that, or we could actually look up that job requisition within JobVite. So just going here, if I were to go to JobVite, click on requisitions, and do a search, we now see the requisition that I just created within JobVite. Going to details. And again, as mentioned earlier, if you would like additional information to be sent from Workday to JobVite, that is certainly possible. And you would just simply add additional fields that you want pushed to JobVite within the relevant snap. It will get updated or created accordingly. And lastly, now that we have the information within Snowflake, we can actually see that information being pulled in a Tableau dashboard or any other dashboard to your choosing.
Yeah, very cool. Thanks. So I'll jump back in here for a second. We're looking at a recruiting metrics Tableau view that we at Elgin created to kind of help you visualize the power of your data and what it can be used for. So in this case, we're looking at the overall recruiting funnel, getting a sense of where the majority of our time and effort is being spent, sort of at the aggregate. We can take a look at positions that are opened inside of JobVite, sort of in a little table, get like a really quick view on when those positions were posted. And then we'll use your historical data and actually forecast out when we think those will be filled. We can see the differences between the average number of days to fill roles, sort of quarter to quarter by different departments, and see the variance there. And then if you kind of scroll down just a little bit, we actually have this comparison view here with the green and blue lines. So the blue line is the average number of days to fill a position, and the green is the average cost to fill, right? So we always want to monetize out activity that we're talking about, because when you really look at it, your operational expenses for labor in particular, those are the most expensive ones that you likely have inside of your business. But it's not always super intuitive or really easy to monetize out how much you're actually spending for something like your operational expenses for labor. So every step of the way for your entire employee lifecycle, starting from recruiting, Elgin's bringing you a standardized model to help you understand what's going on, how much it's costing you, and providing you with actionable ways to go ahead and pull levers to bring those costs down or to optimize out your workflows or what's going on with your employees. So, looking at this, it's just the tip of the iceberg, right? There's so much more that could be done here, but this is a reason that you want to pull information from your ATS, join it with your HRIS, join it with your payroll system, bring in things from an operations perspective so that you get that entire employee life cycle mapped out, modeled, and to give you a really good idea about what's going on with your people. Cool.
Excellent. Yeah, no, this is great. And one thing also that I wanted to mention is the concept of introspection. And what introspection does is it will give you essentially like a peek into the relevant source or target system, so that you can choose or pick which service or object that you want to use in your integration rather than manually typing it out. So just clicking on this call out introspection button here, it is actually contacting the relevant system and populating this pick list with the allowable services within Workday that you can choose from. And this is unique to the account you choose. So different accounts may have different available services. So it's dynamic in that respect, and it definitely saves time so that you don't have to query separately Workday or any other system to see what's available. And so you can use that for service, you can use it for object, the various paths, and it's not just for Workday, it's for many other types of snaps have this feature called introspection.
Yeah, I love that feature. I mean, if you're looking at it, if you're somebody who's used to doing the old school development way, you would expect to see just like tons of Python or PHP or other code here, and then have a second screen open up where you're looking through the API documentation, right? Just kind of figure out like what's going on. Here, you open it up, it's sort of pre-mapped for you. It's all delivered kind of like on a silver platter, and you just kind of grab what you need, take a look, and then with that document output preview, it's really, really quick to determine whether or not you've got the connection set up the way that it should be, or if you're missing something. And if you are, we'll just go back one step and grab another piece and take another look, right? Saves an enormous amount of time.
Right.
Love that feature. I'm glad you called that out. And what about if you get stuck? Like if you look at something like that, and you're like, I'm not really sure what to do with this snap. Is there some sort of help?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. So each snap has a question mark within the window, and you could actually call out to the help site, to Snaplogic documentation for that particular snap. And within the documentation, it provides an overview of the snap, examples, and additional information to help you get through creating your pipeline. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's awesome. And I'll go ahead and call out too. If you're looking at this, or you're thinking like, that this is above my head. This is not. I don't do technical type of things, right? Like I'm here to do conversations with employees, or to make sure that payroll hits on time, or that I'm able to find the best talent for the business and bring it in. You don't have to go ahead and manage all this stuff on your own. You can engage with Elgin LLC. We do the analytics, we do the Tableau pieces, but we also build out Snaplogic pipelines and can do some of this work that we're looking at here as part of this demo. So don't feel like you got to do this alone. You don't have to. But if you do want to do that, you've got a ton of great resources natively embedded in the tool to help you do what you need to do.
Right.
Cool. Okay. So that's the first use case. I think done, right? So we went through the positions as a recap, open it up in Workday. You did that in real time. proxied in and approved it. It took what, maybe 15 seconds to have that integration post it to JobBite and have it available.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's definitely in pretty much real time. And you can either have it on a scheduled basis, or if you want it in even more real time, you can have a webhook set up in Workday that would call this pipeline, and it would push the information on demand. So it's very quick.
Yeah, super cool. And that also means that later on, we won't go over it today, but later on, because you've already got this communication between these two systems, when you hire someone in JobBite, you can also integrate and bring that hire over, and it's going to fall, that hire is going to fall right into the position you already created and configured in Workday. So you've got all of the reporting structure, any type of like second or third order evaluations that need to be done, like auto enrollment and training, or anything else. Like, we're setting the stage for that kind of activity later, right? We've set up communication ready, and there's going to be even more we can do with that later on. But you can't really do that if you don't have some of the fundamentals, and this is a fundamental step for sure.
Right.
Okay, very cool. Well, it's one of the books. You want to go ahead and jump over to our second use case, the
definitely
referral program? Great.
Yeah.
Okay, so as a reminder for this use case, we are looking at automating out an employee referral program. So this is a program that, there's some data, some activity that's being done in the applicant tracking system. There's other metadata or evaluations that we need to look at that can only be done inside of the HRIS, so in this case, Workday. And then we also want to go ahead and make payments and sort of close the loop and make sure everybody understands what's going on and whether or not they've been paid a bonus or if they're referral qualified. And so we also want to do something with an email notification, and then finally put all those things back into a database like in Snowflake, so we can do some of those really cool analytics type of things and build some of those automated dashboards. So I'll go ahead and stop there for a second. And Ali, you want to take it?
Yeah, sure. So basically, what's happening here is, as you mentioned, Zach, worker information is getting pulled from Workday, as we can see here. And ultimately, what we want to get is the information relating to the referrer, the person that referred this new hire to the company. So that we can pay their referral bonus. So what's happening here is the employee information is getting pulled from Workday of the new hire. That new hire is looked up within JobBite. And then within JobBite, we can obtain the referrer name. And so that referrer is then being looked up within Workday, get additional information related to that referrer employee. And we also want to ensure that the hiring manager is not the referrer. So there's a check done, and that will be filtered out, that user record. And ultimately, that information is getting logged to a Snowflake table called job referral. An account will be created for that payment within NetSuite. And then email will also be sent to that referrer. So I'll go ahead and run this pipeline so that we can see it in action. And essentially what's happening here, it is being validated. And as you can see in real time, as the snaps are being validated, they're being queried. And you can actually, this is great for troubleshooting purposes as well. So you can see the output views of each snap. If something went wrong, you could immediately look and see what happened. So this pipeline completed successfully. Just checking on the output view of Snowflake. This indicates the information, or it tells us the status of what was done. So we see one record has been updated, 0 records inserted. And the snap preceding it, we can see what was actually pushed into Snowflake. So we see that information there. We also have the information to NetSuite. So we can actually see that information basically an account number, a refer bonus amount. We see that information being sent to NetSuite, and we can actually see a sample account. So I've been logged out, so let's log back in. Let's go to reports. So let's see, recent reports. Or maybe I could just create a new report. It's all saved. Maybe it's in saved searches. All right, so yeah, it looks like I'll do a new search. So I'll do a new report. And search rather. Okay, account. And let's do it by name. Yep. And all right. Okay. So here is the account that was created. So as you can see, $5,000 as the refer bonus. We have the information that was sent through the Snaplogic pipeline. As mentioned earlier, you can actually send additional information aside to just the referral bonus. And also an email will get sent. The email will look similar to this. Basically, it would have the position information, the title information, as well as the referrer name. And just opening up the email sender Snap, you can indicate where the email is going, who's CC'd, BCC'd. You could have the from information modified. You can update the subject. Right now, the subject is static, but you can certainly have it dynamic if you would like to have the name of the position title within the subject as well. And as you can see, the email body also has a dynamic values. So such as title, dynamic, the name of the referrer is dynamic, and that's what the dollar signs represent. And so you have all of that information sent through. And again, similarly, because it's in Snowflake, it can be referenced by a dashboard such as Tableau. And I'll provide an example here.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks. I'll hop back in here too. So yeah, we're looking at a Tableau view, one that we built out here at Elgin for this demo. And so this is really intended to provide holistic program management for a referral program. So we can see the entire amount that's been paid out so far for referrals. We can see a leaderboard in terms of who's referred the most employees for a given period. And then we can see by location and department where those activities are sort of centrally located. Now, what's interesting is that you're also able, because we're pulling this holistic model together, we can do things like look at the referrals performances versus their non-referred peers over time. So we can see at the top that we've got, a percentage of promotion rate for the not referred at 7.4%, right? But the percent promo for those who were referred is much higher at 9.1%. That's really good. That suggests there must be something positive going on with that population, that referred population versus their peers, because they're doing better. Likewise, if we kind of scroll down just a little bit, we can see average performance scores in the distribution. So 1 through 5, 1 being the lowest, 5 being the highest. And we can see that the vast majority of the non-referred population, they're in that center mass bucket with a review score of 3, right? So they're doing okay. Some of them not so great, a couple of 1s and 2s, but most of them fall right in the middle. But if you look over on the right at the referred population, we got 3, 4s, and 5s, and most employees are falling in the 4 and 5 category. So what does that mean if you're someone who is managing this program? Well, it means that you've got a really good ROI justification, broad strokes, readily available. You could screen grab this, send it to an executive, have that be part of the C-suite conversations. You've got something tangible you can point to. So if the question is asked, why are we spending the $49,500 for this program? Well, this is why, right? At least in part, because these are really high performers. These are the kinds of people you want in your organization. And again, that's just the very, very tip of the iceberg, like just a little bit of what you can do as you start pulling in all these disparate data sources together and building out that standardized data model. and analytics capability. So again, a really powerful type of tool if it's used responsibly and deliberately. And that's something that, at Elgin, we're really happy to help bring to the table to really kick up your organization, to the next level. All right. So that was the second use case. So overall referral program administration. There's any other number of things we can do there. I mean, Ali, you were talking about, looking at the referred and referral and making sure there wasn't something sketchy going on, right? That the hiring manager isn't referring somebody that they didn't decide to hire and getting a payout. But we could add any other criteria we wanted to, right? Like if we wanted to have, we're only going to pay referrals if someone's worked at the company for 6 months. We could definitely do that.
Definitely. Exactly. And if you want to have like a max amount of, a particular person can only have a max amount of referrals per given time period, you could also incorporate that into the logic checks. Absolutely.
Yeah, super cool. And then on the email, we close the loop. We could have another call to action there too and say like, hey, here's $5,000. Who doesn't want an extra $5,000? I certainly would. And the first thing I'd want to do is say, okay, well, that was cool. How do I do that again? And so we could embed like a link and push somebody to our referrals intake page or any other call to action we wanted inside of that email as well, right? Really anything we want to do, we can do it.
Right.
Super cool. Okay. I think we'll go ahead and call it on that use case there. So appreciate everybody who's watched this video and taken a look at the samples we put together here for the recruiting space. Again, just sort of like a couple of quick demos, some use cases, plenty more that can be done, plenty more that we can help you out with. So if you are watching and you'd like to start a conversation and learn how Snaplogic and Elgin LLC can help you and your business, go ahead and click some of the links around this video or go ahead and reach out to us. I mean, we're eager to hear from you and to figure out how we can help you streamline, automate, save while turning your people data and HR software into actionable insights generators. It's totally doable. You just saw it. So give us a call, find us online, and we'll be happy to talk to you. All right. Thanks for watching, and thanks, Ali.
Thank you.